welcome back to the Trust Your Worth podcast, the podcast that helps you tap in to the power of knowing your worth. My name is Brittany, and thank you so much for joining me. How are you? I hope things are going so well, and thank you for listening. Last week, I talked about doing it for you because you matter and your dreams matter. So if you feel like you are struggling a little bit with like knowing yourself or knowing what you want, or just like you're doing things to please others, then that episode might be for you. So that's season 3, episode 18. You can go check that out if you didn't listen yet. Today, we're talking about being judgmental. When you are judging, it does say something about us. So we're going to talk a little bit about what our judgments are saying about us on today's episode. So let's get into it. Most times when we are judging other people, it shows us where we are insecure. So it comes up a lot for me when I see very pretty girls because I would love to be a very pretty girl. And you're probably thinking, yes, well, Brittany, yes, you are a very pretty girl and you're beautiful. What I mean is, like, aesthetically, they dress very feminine. And I think it's so fun. Like, I would love to dress more feminine. I just don't put enough energy into it. I'm in my comfort zone and I don't see the practicality a lot. I'm a very practical person. If I'm literally going to work and then coming home and I'm just going from like my scrubs into my comfy clothes because I'm literally just like immediately leaving work and then coming home, I don't really put effort into my appearance. So when I see girls who are going all out, and I feel the little green monster of like, oh, I wish I knew how to do that. Or like, I can judge them, or my thoughts are like, oh, they care too much about what people think of them, so they dress very nicely. Which could be true, but most likely is not. They probably just enjoy fashion, or they probably just like to look good. And I love what I wear. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm wearing a Princess Donut shirt because I freaking love Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I will promote it for free because I freaking love that franchise, and this is my favorite character. But when it comes to dressing, yes, in certain settings, I think it would be so fun to dress up more. I just would never do it like full time. And I judge people who do. And I shouldn't, because I know nothing about their lives, and I think it's really cool that they care about fashion and all that. But again, this is just an example of one of the judgments that I have that could be preventing me from experiencing joy. So it's just showing my insecurity about the way I look sometimes. Like, I don't have this insecurity all the time. If I did, I feel like I would be dressing more trendy because I care what other people think about me and I'd want to fit in more. Whereas now, especially the past couple years, I don't care. I wear what I want. And I'm happy to. Like, I picked this shirt because I was so excited to, because I just got it and I wanted everyone to see it. But again, this is just an example. But most times when we judge others quickly and unfairly, it's because they're throwing up a mirror to ourselves and showing us where we might be insecure, where we might feel like we don't have value or worth in a certain situation. The other thing about judgments is that we make judgments very quickly without knowing anybody's story, without knowing the situation, and that can cause harm too. It's just important to remember that everybody is going through something, and that if we judged people simply on one interaction, then I don't think it would be a fair judgment. So in this article, he talks about how some of these skewed judgments can damage us personally and relationally. So the first one is the halo effect, and we have to look for it and its counterpart. So the halo effect is if someone has one good quality, then we automatically think that person is great. So, for example, hey, that dude's an amazing speaker. He must be an excellent CEO. And that's probably not true because sure they can speak well, but we don't know anything about their company. We don't know the numbers. We don't know we haven't seen them in interactions. So that would be the halo effect when we automatically blanket someone like good by by just one interaction with them. So the opposite can also be true when you have a negative experience with someone and then that might be your best friend. I'd say the closest thing that I've had to that experience is one of my best friends was kind of like this guy was trying to get to know her better and he didn't do it in the greatest way. And I'm very protective of my friends, so when she did not like him anymore, I immediately was like, that man is dead to me. And I hate that guy. And my hate for him continued. I literally invited a bunch of people on a trip, and he was at the table, and he said, "Oh, I'd love to come. Why are you guys all going?" And I was like, "'Cause it's my place, and I don't want you to come." Like, straight out said it to his face. Not my proudest moment. And him coming probably would not have affected the outcome of that trip. Like, we all had a great time. And if he came and if I was in a better headspace and less insecure, I'm sure him being there wouldn't have affected me. But he didn't come because I was rude. And then something happened where our mutual friend actually passed away suddenly and everything was put into perspective. And I went to him and apologized, and we were cool after that. And while I didn't get to know him like a lot, I could definitely see how my actions were totally uncalled for and based on perceptions and judgments that were excessively harsh, like to the extent that he did hurt my friend's feelings. Like it wasn't as bad as as I had perceived it to be. Like, I was definitely in the wrong there. And while we didn't become like the best of friends, I do regret my actions in that instance, and I'm grateful that I did apologize and that we were able to be cool. Like, I totally wish him well. Last time I heard about him, he was doing well, and like, I'm genuinely happy for him. So that's really cool. But all of this heartache and negativity could have been prevented if I had just gotten to know him better for like who he was, instead of only seeing him through one lens and only focusing on the negativity. So when it comes to judging, just try not to do it quickly, especially if you're going to interact with this person for a long time. Obviously, we do have to make quick judgments when we're thinking about like how many tokens we can spend and whatnot. Like, if you're not going to have to be around them for a long time, I hope that you do trust your judgment when you're trying to navigating choosing your relationships and whatnot. Like, we do have to have some judgment, but just be wary of these. So basically, just try and get more of the story before you give them the halo effect, or they call it the horns effect, where you only see them in a negative light. Okay, this part of the article I think is important. He says to beware of the fundamental attribution error. So what that means, that's a big fancy term to me, but it essentially means we tend to attribute our behavior to the environment that we're in and other people's behavior to their character. So we believe that their character is essentially flawed, where if it happens to us, oh, it's just because I'm having a bad day. So we don't have the flexibility to allow others kindness. I'm just going to quote this. Quote, rather than saying this is a situation they're going through, we tend to think that they are always like that. So when I see someone grab their child in the grocery store, my first impression is that they are a bad parent. Yet when I grab my child, it's because they need to be disciplined. I attribute their behavior to character and mind to environment. Ironically, the better we know the individual, the more flexible and less judgmental we are of their behavior. Close quote. So, yeah, guilty. I definitely, there are some people around me that I think I attribute a lot of their actions as character. And I don't understand the full story, and I don't have grace for them sometimes when I should. Yeah, not great when we only see one side of people and judge them for that. Like, I wouldn't want to be known for my worst day. Like, I'm sure there are people out there who think I'm like the worst person in the world. And I just have to be okay with that because maybe they caught me on a bad day and I was a butthead to them, and that's fair. Like, I get that. But that's not all of me. That just happened to be one day. So hopefully this helps us to be kind to others and ourselves. So let's get into why we are judging. So it goes back to the beginning, our insecurities, the lack of worth. So I'm going to quote this article that hopefully illustrates what I'm trying to say. So, quote, many people who have not been privileged enough to receive unconditional love have an unconscious idea that there is only so much to go around. So much attractiveness, so much wealth, so much youth, so much beauty, so much achievement, and ultimately so much love. They have a belief in finiteness. When someone else has something, it seems like something that they are deprived of. The qualities are limited, and there's no such thing as baking a bigger pie. The pull is to see people in a rank order, hierarchical fashion. When two people encounter one another, one is better and one is worse. You might use any metric, wealth, status, social ability. If you aren't the better one, then watch out. You might be worse. And so judgmentalism is about safety. If you are the better person in a given scenario, you don't have to worry that you might be the worst one. You don't have to reckon with potential feelings of inferiority, shame, and generally not being good enough. Because judgmentalism destroys relationships. If you are better than someone, you are apart from them. You are above them, not beside them, and so nobody is beside you. Close quote. Yikes! Okay, so that's really what the insecurity is. If you are the better person, then you don't have to worry about being the worst one. And you don't have to deal with the potential feelings of shame, inadequacy, or feeling less than, or feeling unworthy or not good enough. That is what judging harshly can protect us from. But that's not great, because then you're not dealing with the actual root of the problem, which is feeling unworthy, feeling not enough, which is what this whole podcast is about. To remember that you are enough, that you can belong anywhere you want to belong, that you can create the life you want regardless of what anyone thinks of you. And so if you are struggling to know that you are worthy, then of course it's going to be easy to judge others because you don't want to deal with those feelings of inadequacy. So how do you fix it? Well, first, you have to remember your worth. You have to remember that you are worthy no matter what. Anybody says nothing that you or they will do will change your worth. And also anything that you do to them will not change their worth either. So if we take worth out of the equation, then what is left? Well, there's the potential to be kind. And that's how we heal this, is that we need to learn to be kind to others, and we need to learn to be kind to ourselves. I don't mean be a doormat, and I don't mean people please. Obviously, if people are actually being rude to you, then that's fair to not have them in your life. Like, don't tolerate any abuse. But when it comes to uncalled things that you immediately looked at them and you're like, I hate them. What? Where did that come from? Well, maybe have a little pause and think about like, oh, why do I hate them? We've spoken one sentence. Why are they triggering me right now? So trying figuring out what it is that is coming up for you inside that you're projecting onto that person. And then leading with kindness. So The way we can lead with kindness is to get to know their story, to take the time to get to know them, and instead of just the one sentence, ask them more. Where are you from? How are you? What are you excited about? What do you love? What is your best friend like? Tell me more. And then once you get to know them, you can see the ways you may connect or not. Like, because maybe once you know them, you still might not want to spend more time with them, but that's totally fair. You put in the time to make a better judgment. This also applies to yourself. You need to get to know yourself, know and love yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. So just remember that you have choices. Whether you are doing the judging or being judged, you can choose not to perpetuate the cycle, and you can let go of needing to be better or more than, and just extend kindness. And know that you are worthy of love, they're worthy of love just as much as you are. And rest in the knowledge that there is enough love to go around. And you can make space for them and the things that they like, and then they might surprise you. They can make space for you, and if they don't, then they don't have to be in your life anyways. So practice kindness, and also be kind to yourself, and maybe work on the insecurities that are coming up and recognizing like, oh, maybe that is I'm judging them so harshly. Why is this coming up for me? And that's gonna be your worth work this week, to recognize what it is you are judging others on so that you can recognize what you're actually judging yourself on. So I want you to do this journal activity, write it down or take a voice note, whatever. You're going to think of somebody that you are judging and to ask yourself, why am I judging them? What is it about them that is irking me, that is making me uncomfortable, that is making me feel insecure? And then write down that answer, and then come up with things you can do to overcome this insecurity, whatever comes out. So, for example, with the clothing, why am I judging the girliest of girls? Because I've always wanted to be a girly girl. And so if I want to be a more girly girl, what are some ways for me to feel like I'm being more of a girly girl? And I'm going to do those things. So for me, honestly, it's not even about dressing more feminine. It's about being more whimsical. It's about bringing out the joy that I felt as a girl. So I'm going to do some more Funko Pop hunting. The Spice Girls just came out. I need to get them. And wearing more things that actually make me feel so happy. So I hope that example helps. I don't know if it's a good one. I just wanted to keep it lighthearted. All right, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find me at trustyourworth.com, on Instagram and TikTok at trustyourworthpodcast. If no one has told you today, other people's opinions of you don't matter, so you shouldn't care. And don't forget to trust your worth. All right, thanks for listening. Have a good day. Love you. Bye.